Eh bien on est parti hein, pour la suite du coup du jeu. Je pense que cette fois on va aller avoir Madame Lady. On était parti pour combien avant de XP 895? On n'a pas beaucoup, on n'a pas besoin de... Donc je vais juste faire les vérifications qu'on entend bien le son. Alors voyons voir. Allô? Oui c'est bon, on m'entend. Donc c'est reparti. C'était derrière. Pas un monsieur là avant? Ah non c'est la morgue ça je crois. Oh là là. Trop con moi. C'est limite tué là, je m'en suis limite. Ça va, c'est avec la récup. Ah, je vais encore. Pourquoi c'est toujours sur les ponts? Allez, parlons-nous.
You must prepare, child, for the earth is bleeding and the harvest is upon us.
Stay away, whoever you are.
This is no time for petty quarrels, my champion. Can you not hear? The famished queen has awoken.
I am not your champion.
But of course you are, son. As surely as you are the blood of my blood.
I had to kill Mary.
I have known your pain, child. Do not succumb to...
Silence! I dismiss you, now!
The land calls for a champion. All and everyone needs you.
Silence!
Écoute-le.
I'm tired of all these puppet shows.
Putain, mais le connard, je viens de le mordre, il est déjà capable de me rattaquer. Vas-y, viens là, redonne-moi ce que tu m'as appris là. Toute ma vie quoi. Maintenant tu crèves. Ah bah bah maintenant je peux grimper. La dernière fois que j'étais venu ici, je pouvais pas, hein, je faisais rien. Bon, ouais. Mais c'est là. C'est le putain d'appartement, c'est ça. Pourquoi je suis là? J'avais juste à suivre le putain de chemin.
It's locked.
They want war. I'll show them war.
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
All of your bloody leeches need killing. Bloody leech! Over there! There's one of them vermin!
It's locked, all right.
Même là c'est fermé. Ouais, son manoir il est là? Ouais. Il est là.
So this is where she lives. What a splendid house.
Allez, ça va être une réunion de toute courtoisie. Le gars là, votre disciple là, votre guide, enfin votre larbin, je l'ai tué, je l'ai défoncé parce que j'étais obligé, hein. Sinon c'est moi qui me faisais dégager. Non, pour moi il doit rester infecté, mais trouver un truc contre la soif de sang. Contre le soleil, il met de la crème solaire pour vampire.
Dr. Reed, welcome. How are you?
As good as one can be, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Death and affliction seem prevailing themes of late. Please, come in. We have much to discuss.
I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Not at all. Actually, I was counting on you visiting me tonight.
How strange, this painting. Beautiful, melancholic, yet with a haunting dignity.
Indeed. A long time ago, a friend asked me to paint this for him. But I kept it in the end.
I did not know you were a painter, my lady.
There are many things you do not know about me, young Ekon.
Please, call me Jonathan.
Please excuse my behavior, Jonathan. I tend to tease my friends when uneasy.
What is bothering you, my lady? Your letter was quite alarming.
We will talk about this in a few minutes. For now, I would like you to tell me about yourself. How have you been since we last met, my friend?
I came to the conclusion that my maker, whoever he might be, must be a powerful vampire. Certainly extremely old.
How have you reached this conclusion?
He is the only immortal I've seen appear in an ethereal form. His voice, his words seemed ancient. It was disturbing.
I am afraid you are right. The simple fact that your blood made Mary such a strong Ekon proves that you must be of ancient lineage.
I felt this power radiating like an aura every time he appeared.
Most ancestral vampires of England were killed by the Guard of Priwen half a century ago. I wonder who your maker could be.
You have no idea who he could be?
Some of the ancient ones fled England. Some may still be in hiding. All I know is you, my friend, are a pawn in some secret and obscure game of chess.
My sister Mary. She was made a vampire in the same way I was. She was the one killing all those people everywhere I went.
Vengeance is a powerful force for those betrayed. Made vampire through careless error. Victims by surprise.
In the end, she implored me to put an end to her misery. But still, I felt I had taken her life twice.
I am so sorry for my accidental cruelty. Had I known your dear Mary was still alive, I would never have sent you to pray for her soul in that church.
There is no need to apologize, my lady. Your words have been most helpful in these difficult times.
Thank you, my friend. If only we could have guided your poor sister through her terrible nightmare.
I swear I did not intend that.
That is the scientist speaking. In truth, most of us do not know how it really works. Personally, I make sure my prey will not return to haunt me.
What do you mean?
I am merciless, Jonathan. I only feed on the dying, and I make sure they are dead before leaving their remains.
I think I should ask the questions, your ladyship. After all, it was you who invited me to settle this most urgent of matters.
Fair enough, Jonathan. The situation is critical. We do not have the luxury for etiquette.
Please do not misunderstand me. I would be delighted to discuss mundane matters and idle trivialities.
If we survive the dark nights to come, we shall have all the time in the world to speak, you and I. For now, please follow me, Jonathan.
I must say, your house is exquisite.
One of the advantages of living forever is having the time to be selective with one's furnishings. I took the liberty of having tea served.
You can still drink tea.
Can't keep it down, but I do so enjoy the aroma. Let us toast to make-believe. And of course to your health, Jonathan.
And to yours, my lady.
Please, call me Elizabeth.
So, my lady, why, truly, did you invite me here?
I've been asked to deliver an official invitation to meet the Ascalon Club.
Should I trust them?
Of course not. Do not misunderstand me. They can be very useful, but I believe their long-term goals differ from yours.
Why meet them then?
Because nothing truly important can be achieved in this city without their consent. They could be powerful allies in this current situation.
Should I lie to them?
We all lie, Jonathan. It falls to you to choose your behavior. The most important rule is to show them due respect.
Why use you to contact me?
Because they know we are close. The Ascalon Club has many spies. Their main occupation is gathering information and then deciding how to use it.
Have they threatened you in any way?
Not at all. Their message surprised me at first, but it is only logical, considering the critical situation in London.
Why not ask for your help? Since you are obviously a powerful and influential immortal yourself.
You have to understand that I am invisible to the eyes of Ascalon, for I am a woman. That suits me well, as long as they leave me alone.
Who are they? Really?
They are the embodiment of vampire law in Britain. Some say they influence the destiny of the Empire. Some believe they merely protect it.
How many are they?
Only a small number of powerful and deceitful immortals. All of them entangled in a sticky web of shadow cabinets, influencing trade.
Will they fight the guard of Priwen?
I doubt it. Fergal was Lord Redgrave's executioner forever and a day. By defeating that beast, you deprived them of a powerful weapon.
They have done nothing but impede my investigations since I became known to them. Why would they want to see me now?
I guess they now see you as Ascalon material. They must have found out what happened to your sister. Proof of the potent blood flowing through your veins.
I'm not sure I can accept their invitation. I have seen their handiwork. How Fergal the Beast imposed the club's law.
You have no choice, Jonathan. Even I would not openly defy Lord Redgrave, the chairman of the Ascalon Club.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave? Who is he?
Lord Redgrave is the founder and chairman of the Ascalon Club. Most mortals know him as the Earl of Bristol. He is rich and extremely influential.
Have you met him?
Only on rare occasions, for he never goes outside the club. And women are not awarded membership, even immortals.
How old is he? How long has he been a vampire?
Lord Redgrave claims to be the progeny of William Marshall, the most valiant knight who ever lived. If that is true, he could be very old.
How powerful is his reach?
The Ascalon Club may be the most influential secret society in England. Not all its members are immortals, but they are all very powerful.
They are not all immortals. How is that?
The club is mainly comprised of political figures who seek the safety and expansion of the Empire. The most loyal are awarded immortality.
Any familiar or famous names?
As the richest, most relentless British tycoon, Aloysius Dawson is considered ideal Ascalon material and has been watched for years.
If you are convinced I must meet him, I will heed your advice.
Thank you, Jonathan. I understand your reluctance to brush shoulders with London's vampire elite, but we have no choice.
Is the situation that critical?
Yes. The Guard of Priwen has called for a second great hunt of our kind, and they will stop at nothing to eliminate us.
Will the Guard of Priwen and the Ascalon Club fight each other?
I doubt it. If Priwen really launched a great hunt, I think most of the Ekons I know would flee the country to escape the bloodbath.
I think I saw them kill an Ekon on the way to your house. They seem to have a list with names.
To launch another great hunt, they must have collected intelligence on vampire identities and whereabouts. They are a resourceful lot.
Should we fight back? I will not be hunted down like an animal again.
I admire your courage, Jonathan. But the best way to fight them is to put an end to the epidemic. This is the first great hunt was launched about 75 years ago. In just a few nights, the Guard of Prewen located and destroyed most of the old British vampires.
How did you survive the first hunt?
I fled, Jonathan. Like most vampires who survived that slaughter. And I secretly came back when I was sure they had lost my trail.
Why start a second one?
Prewen has always seen us immortals as a threat to mankind. My guess is they suspect one or more of us as the cause of the epidemic.
You should flee then. Leave London, the country even. I have seen the Guard in action. They are merciless.
Your concern warms my heart, Jonathan. But fear not. If the situation gets too dangerous, I shall retreat to my secret Scottish manor. I could hide you in my luggage, if you wish.
Thank you for the offer. I shall keep it in mind, but I have much to do here. There is a question I must ask you. Could Lord Redgrave be my maker?
I doubt it. If Lord Redgrave had made you his progeny, he would not have seemed so surprised when you demonstrated the strength of your lineage.
Will I ever discover the identity of my maker?
Maybe not, Jonathan. We know for sure you were made by a powerful vampire, but most of those fled England long ago.
You have no idea at all. You seem to know so many things about the secrets of the vampire underworld.
Even if I had my suspicions, I would not dare give you a name so soon. All I can say is this. I will make inquiries and keep you informed. Oh, Jonathan. I know you shall always have a gnawing doubt about who made you an immortal. But I swear,
What is the plan?
The plan is we both try to save this city, you and I. Go to Ascalon, accept their proposition, and use their influence to promote your agenda.
How can I save London?
The epidemic is the priority. You must find its origin and put an end to it. This is the best way to solve the crisis.
What will you do?
I still have contacts and old friends in this town. I shall make some inquiries and attempt to learn more of the situation.
One day soon, I will have to find the answer to this mystery.
And I shall help you in your research, I promise. For now, you must go to the Ascalon Club and...
Will I see you again at the Pembroke Hospital?
No, you will find me here if you need me. I shall conduct inquiry...
When will we meet again?
As soon as you meet Lord Redgrave, I suppose. Fear not, my dear. I shall only be a heart's beat away.
Will you not visit Pembroke again?
No. I must remain discreet and avoid attracting attention to Pembroke Hospital for the time being.
But how will you sustain yourself?
I shall not, Jonathan. Fear not. I'm used to it.
I want to thank you for all your support and your help, my lady.
Could you do me a last great favor and call me Elizabeth?
I should be honored, my lady.
Then it is settled. Finally, some good news in these dark hours.
Thank you. I appreciate the advice. I had best prepare myself to meet this Lord Redgrave now.
How thrilling to meet the Earl of Bristol in the flesh, so to speak.
Something tells me you're not very keen on the man.
Don't get me wrong. The gentlemen of the Ascalon Club are honorable, but their attitude and opinions are somewhat antiquated.
I see.
As long as they deny access to female applicants, I will leave them to their antediluvian considerations as to the natural order of things. Jonathan, promise me you'll be careful.
Of course. but by the fear in your voice.
Look at me, Jonathan.
I am.
I mean, really look at me, young Ekon. We may be deceptive by nature, but this heart of mine has always told the truth.
Elizabeth.
Go, my friend. But come back to me soon.
Récidiation simultanée. Seuil critique, le gardien plongera dans le quartier, les disparaîtront, leur mission sera par druide et leurs créatures commenceront à rôder dans les rues. Du coup, si je fais passer un quartier, ouais, non, à mon avis, pour faire.
So, time to visit the Ascalon Club. It's locked.
Comment il s'est retrouvé dans le mur, le gars? Déjà?
I cannot enter. was the vampire I saw earlier. This war takes no prisoners.
Crush the leech, boys! Ah! I'll kill you! Bloody burn
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Oui, mais je suis censé... Je suis censé faire quoi, basiquement? pourquoi ça m'a changé la caméra. Je n'ai pas touché un nom de joystick sauf... C'est bon. Le problème c'est que quand tu réapparais, même si tu t'es débrouillé à ramasser du sang, ça va te faire crever. Si le passage n'est... Il y a un abri déjà là normalement. Mais ça, je ne sais pas ce que ça veut dire en vrai, c'est pour ça que je ne le fais pas. Mais ça, j'imagine que ça sert qu'à recycler du coup.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you?
I'm right here, Mother.
Yes. But this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost,
And now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary?
I know she's gone. The question is...
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my son-in-law? You're all gone.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Mother, do you...
Not really. I don't go out.
What do you mean you get lost?
Of course not. When I go out, you'll...
Have you returned?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too.
It was just a bad dream.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need any...
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those...
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing.
I recently met.
I'd be glad to meet her.
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance.
The important thing is, I hope you two...
Moi je voulais regarder un truc principalement.
It's locked, all right.
Visiting Italy is a good idea this time of the year.
Pourquoi j'ai choisi de quitter ma famille sans aucune obtenir des réponses. Il te suffit de jouer à mon jeu. La décision t'appartient, mon fils. Quoi qu'il arrive, n'oublie pas que je t'aime. Je te promets que ma famille t'es toujours ce qui compte le plus pour moi. Je me souviens encore de la première fois où je vous ai tenu dans mes bras, ta sœur et toi. Désormais joyeux, vous voir grandir, jouer et rire remplissez mon cœur de joie. Chaque fois que je rentrais dans la maison, j'aurais été capable de tuer pour vous protéger, mon fils, ma fille, ma femme. Mais le destin a eu raison de moi, j'ai dû prendre une amère décision. La pire a été de devoir partir sans vous dire au revoir. J'ai décidé de le faire quand même, mais bientôt je serai parti pour toujours. Je ne demande pas ton pardon, mais ta compréhension. Si tu veux en savoir plus, tout ce que tu dois faire, c'est te souvenir du bonheur que nous éprouvions dans ta jeunesse. Tu souhaites trouver mon prochain message, pense à de hautes herbes et de grands arbres par un dimanche ensoleillé.
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
j'irai la chercher parce que normalement je serai toujours à côté entre guillemets. Je vais échouer vu que c'est un peu mal.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan, I can't.
I know, Avery.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I'm taking... Your mother was strong, sir. But your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one...
To be present at the funeral with you both was my...
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr.
What is this?
For it,
Have you...
your fa...
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe...
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times...
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday. But you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office. Until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reed was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do? That's good news.
Goodbye.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan.
Au revoir.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected. Good evening, sir. Please...
I never judge a man by his title, but...
Well, I must...
Well,
How is the situation in this part of town?
life is good and peaceful.
D'accord.
We're lucky to live in such an era of progress.
Are you not concerned?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the...
I'm afraid the newspapers are seriously underestimating the situation. Things are critical, believe me.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating?
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
So you...
Oh, I also enjoy a
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
What can you tell me about...
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you...
Fine.
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite... Did not since... Are you... I'm afraid the real head...
I may have a look at your... Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reed. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte. What do you think about this part of town?
I would...
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must...
Yes, I was born a few...
A small world, is it not? Did you ever...
You won't trick me twice.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me...
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised...
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live.
What exactly has your mother told you?
Your name and profession, obviously, and the mystery about your maker.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me.
Good to know. And don't worry,
Your mother is not like any other.
I believe she thinks the same about you.
What are you doing?
You mean, what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in...
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reed. And please, don't tell my mother.
Are you...
All...
No...
Really?
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aid...
Good...
She's been quite...
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you...
Clarence. Clarence Crossley.
I almost didn't recognize you.
When did...
You know what's funny? I almost never...
What? And of... How is...
We've spent...
Is...
Have you forgot?
But you
Leave.
You need... Good evening, old chap.
I won't lie.
Do you need medical...
It's a little late for...
I will... You...
Women of all countries unite!
How are you tonight? How is your sweet?
Support the equality between men and women!
Even someone you're close to!
Good.
I won't.
Do you need...
It's a little...
What can I say?
I hope we're talking about the same.
You... Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you?
Thank you, Venus.
I was going to bed.
Forgive me.
I'll tell you what. Come back tomorrow for tea.
Someone you know?
Good evening.
I won't.
Tell me what you have discovered about vampires, Clarence.
They've always been here. And if you search for long enough, you realize others know about these devils too. I'm not alone.
Have you shared your research with anybody else?
No. But I've published my leaflets all across the city, hoping that someday someone will realize I'm printing the truth.
What do you mean you're not...
The Guard of Prewin. The Brotherhood of St. Paul Stole. Ichabod Throgmorton.
Have you spoken with any of them?
No. With the quarantine, it's almost impossible to leave the West End. But as a
Are you asking me to help you prove the existence...
Yes, Johnny. you know where you are standing right now?
In front of the Ascalon Club, I presume.
The Ascalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reed. Please proceed. Lord Redgrave is waiting on you upstairs.
Oh là là.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club.
Oh là.
There has been quite a battle here. I'm sure the Ascalon Club has the money to replace the furniture.
Ouais, j'ai bien le loot avant de les rencontrer. Je sens qu'en fonction de mes décisions, je ne retournerai pas là.
Good evening.
My good friends, if I may have your attention. Behold our visitor, the good Dr. Reed. Newborn of blood so pure and strong that even my friend Fergal Bansher was no match for him.
Here, here, here.
Come forward, young Ekon, for we have so much to discuss. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reed. I am Lord Redgrave, Earl of Bristol and chairman of this exclusive association.
Lord Redgrave.
At last we meet. I've been eager to make your acquaintance. I've heard some astounding things about you. Please accept my condolences for your loss, Dr. Reed.
Thank you, my lord. Lady Ashbury expressed your wish to meet me.
Yes. The lady has always been a useful acquaintance, though not always reliable. Is she a good friend of yours?
She's a close friend, and I'm honored that she feels this.
The centuries have taught me never to trust a woman completely, especially if she is a mortal. Too prone to emotions, if you ask me. Too fickle when it comes to important decisions.
My lord, Do not expect me to speak ill of Lady Ashbury.
Of course not, and I praise your loyalty. Would you offer the same fidelity to the Empire?
What do you mean?
I speak of the Skull Plague that threatens London and the country. You have been on the front line in the East End, but the time has come to open up a second front here.
The epidemic has escaped the quarantine. You have new cases of the outbreak.
We don't know for certain, but we cannot allow the disease to threaten the prominent heads of Great Britain.
Why do you suddenly need me?
The Ascalon Club only recruits the best, and you definitely fit the bill. Your scientific and medical reputation alone would qualify you as a candidate.
You want me to find possible sources of the outbreak in the West End. Is that it?
Ah, straight to the point, like all eager newborns. We shall have time to talk about all this, Dr. Reed. But first, I should like to get to know you better.
Talk? Is that the only reason you asked me here?
Well, no. I also wanted to meet the intriguing Ekon, who made such a powerful progeny of his sister. You have not learned the name of your maker, am I correct?
No, I haven't.
Have no embarrassment, Dr. Reed. We all make mistakes. But whatever your lineage, you are definitely Ascalon material.
What do you mean?
I would like you to become a member of the Ascalon Club, and to serve me as such.
Before I accept, I have so many questions.
Please ask.
What does it mean to be a member of the Ascalon Club?
It means that you swear to protect the interests of the Crown, that you become a loyal servant of the British Empire.
Am I supposed to follow orders?
As founder and chairman of the club, I alone am entitled to make demands of our members. And I do appreciate obedience.
Do you have any official recognition from the government? A charter from His Majesty the King?
No. Of course, the Ascalon Club publicly supports the Empire, but the true nature of its members remains a secret.
What is the Ascalon Club's express purpose?
We follow the credo of William Marshall, the greatest knight who ever lived. As was he, we are sworn to protect the British Empire.
What does Ascalon mean?
Ascalon was the lance wielded by St. George, glorious patron saint of England when he slew the dragon. And like that lance, we pierce the hearts of all our nation's enemies.
William
Not exactly. William Marshall granted me immortality, and I founded the club a few years later. The good knight has been gone for so long.
I killed Fergal, who claimed to be one of yours, sent to cleanse the East End of all skulls. Will his death be an issue?
Do not worry. My priorities have changed. Fergal was a zealous servant of mine, but like any servant, he had his limitations and is readily replaced if necessary.
I agree to join the club.
This is good news. Good news indeed in these crucial times. Let's inform the Assembly formally and proceed with your initiation.
My initiation?
Fear not. Nothing fancy nor dangerous. It is just that we, the members of Ascalon, believe that tradition and custom are the backbone of this country. My fellow members, dear friends, please gather and welcome this Ekon as one of our own.
Is he worthy? Is his blood pure?
Well, speak, Dr. Reed, in front of the most sacred blood. The blood of our beloved William Marshall. Speak now. Will you serve and protect the crown as he did?
Yes, I will.
Then, young Ekon, it is time to testify with your blood. It is time to sign the Book of Allegiance. I know it's awfully gothic and a tad pedantic, but England's traditions are the backbone of our nation.
Ouais, j'aime pas. Finissant.
Delightful.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reed. Take your place among the bearers of the lance.
One of us! One of us!
I personally went patrolling last night, and I spotted at least 2 foreign...
Good evening, Dr. Reed. How does it feel to be this evening's centerpiece? Figuratively.
I feel perfectly fine. Do I have cause for concern?
Do not be alarmed. The Ascalon Club has a tried and tested policy for choosing its initiates.
May I ask who you are, sir?
Why would you be interested?
Well, as you seem to be the only man in the room with a beating heart, you draw quite a bit of attention yourself.
Ah, vampire senses never cease to fascinate me. They dwarf those of mere mortals. I am Aloysius Dawson, by the way.
Are you not afraid? You are surrounded by vampires.
Sir, it's for that very reason that I joined the club in the first place.
So you asked for membership?
I have been a member of many clubs in many countries. But I must admit, this one is my favorite.
Is not the nature of this club a secret, shared by only a privileged few?
My dear Dr. Reed, I have spent years and a fortune precisely to gather that kind of information.
Are you a member of the club?
Yes, I am. And I have been for many years. And will be until the day I die.
Are you sick?
Personally, I consider my advancing years are a sickness in itself. My body is slowly abandoning me, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about it?
It's not really my place to give you such information. I am merely a mortal member, and a dying one at that.
What can you
I would not dare speak of our chairman.
Mr. Dawson, of Dawson and Dawson, the wealthiest man in England. It is a pleasure to meet such a prominent figure of London.
A withering London figurehead, to be precise.
Are you sick, Mr. Dawson? I am a doctor, you know.
My case is beyond the scope of traditional medicine. I have spent fortunes on the world's most competent doctors to arrive at that...
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Should I suppose that you're here in search of some form of immortality?
Absolutely not. I'm here to implement my plan to save the city I was born in. To cast out the ghastly evil that has a...
What do you...
I should not say this, but I admire their commitment. This is what the nation needs right now.
Would you help them?
No. There is a time for such methods. But brute force will not be enough to fight this plague. We have to think differently. But they are not mine.
What is this?
I am sure Lord Redgrave will enlighten you.
Money cannot solve every problem. This mysterious epidemic is going to require more than money can buy.
You're right. Money is nothing unless one has the will to wield it. I have a plan, sir. A radical one that will save all that is essential in London.
What is your plan, then?
Quarantine and barricades are futile. What we need is a wall. A formidable, unscalable wall to isolate.
Complete isolation has proven effective throughout history, but the death toll has always been a high one.
I am glad you understand the concept of necessity.
Are you not mistaking sacrifice for summary execution?
Why do you care? Are you not a vampire?
That went well, did it not? It is always useful to bolster the troops' morale, especially before a difficult battle.
You have the makings of a general, my lord.
I was, though very long ago. Well, not quite a general, but a proud defender of the crown.
So why did you really want to meet me?
Straight to the point again, young Ekon. All right, let's talk, you and I, Lance Sparrow.
I'm listening, my lord.
According to my spies, you have worked with Dr. Edgar Swansea on the epidemic, and your findings were quite alarming.
Do you know Edgar Swansea?
Not personally, but I've been told he has some sort of immortal fetish, and is a good friend of yours.
Does it bother you that I consider him my good friend?
As long as you reveal nothing of the club's inner workings, why should I forbid you engaging in conversation with the good Dr. Swansea?
You were spying?
Not personally. I rarely leave this building. But once he found you, Fergal kept me informed. Until you put an end to his mission.
Who was Fergal? I don't see him sipping tea with the others in the club.
Fergal Banshire was my squire of sorts. Even before becoming that magnificent beast, he was a brute. He served me well for decades.
No, I mean, what was he? He was clearly no ordinary vampire.
No. He was a Volcod. All muscles and instinct. Quite the rare breed. Ferociously territorial. Mortals often mistake them for werewolves.
You do know I killed him?
Yes.
Will you bear ill will towards me for his death?
Of course not. Your victory was quite impressive and courageous. You earned my respect.
Yes, I'm convinced the recent invasion of frenzied Scowls in London is directly linked to the epidemic. This is not the Spanish flu, but something else.
I would be glad to hear more of your discoveries, Dr. Reed, but for now, my main concern is the security of London's inhabitants, both mortal and immortal.
What do you mean?
Alarmed by the epidemic, the Guard of Prewen has started a war against us British vampires. To appease the situation, we must eradicate the Scowls.
I have met peaceful and wise Scowls. To exterminate them means we are no better than vampire hunters.
Scowls are hideous, shameful creatures that give all Ekon a bad name.
So, what do you want me to do?
I want you to investigate the city thoroughly. I have reason to fear there are cases of contagion in this part of town. Our absolute priority is to find and cleanse them.
And how would you like me to proceed?
By all means necessary, Dr. Reed. You are now a member of the Ascalon Club, and you have carte blanche. Interrogate the locals, follow all the leads you find, and get results.
Lord Redgrave was outside almost every
I think Lord Redgrave just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire. Hello again, Venus.
Jonathan, you're still up. Can't you just knock at people's doors during the day?
I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes, for old time's sake.
Of course you may enter, Jonathan. At least you survived the great...
It's a pleasure to see you again, Venus.
So you returned from the war in one piece?
How is the old rascal?
Probably outside, chasing ghosts.
How have you been?
I've done my duty, like all British women.
I understand.
Yes.
Why is my return so surprising?
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise. You and Clarence, back from the war.
Thank you.
I wish I...
There's no need...
No, it's not...
Venus, why do you worry so much about your family's reputation?
Everyone laughs at Clarence now. And they avoid me because they believe I share his insane opinion.
Tell me about Clarence's obsession with vampires.
It drives me so crazy it makes my stomach hurt. I was so relieved to have him back. But I quickly realized he'd lost his mind in France.
I understand your irritation, Venus. But you have to accept the trauma Clarence endured on the battlefield.
The question is simple, Jonathan. Is my husband mad? Yes or no? Do vampires exist? Or is Clarence a lunatic?
So you don't believe?
If poor Mary, bless her soul, had tried to convince you of the existence of bloody vampires...
The important question is...
I'm tough, Jonathan. He should have told me the horrors he witnessed, however appalling it was, instead of inventing a fantasy about blood-drinking monsters.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
The McPhersons. I heard they locked themselves in their own house.
They could just be afraid of getting sick.
Perhaps you're right. But if I were you, I'd pay them a visit. A big house, reachable through a courtyard, to the north of the railway bridge. At least you survived the Great War.
It's locked, all right. It's locked. No invitation is needed to enter this building. That can't be a good sign. No sign of a struggle. Emily wanted to become a vampire. Blood. I should follow the trail.
Avant, il n'y a pas un endroit où... fait des dégâts là pareil, je voulais juste l'assommer de base.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question.
I'm the Marquis de Bois-Colombes, and I strongly invite you to find your own game, sir.
I'm not here to sustain myself. I'm currently investigating the death of a young woman killed by a vampire.
A young woman killed by a vampire?
What are you doing here?
I recently decided to visit London. I've always dreamed of visiting a city on the verge of collapse. Such a delicate, yet...
You take...
I have been a totally depraved and immoral creature since the day I was reborn, sir. And...
What do you...
Take pleasure. Take pictures. Enjoy the show. Have fun. Believe me, I won't be the only foreign immortal who bought a ticket to the fair.
And who...
I am Jacques-Michel Guillaume Florimond de Marquis de Bois-Colombes, at your service, my dear cousin.
You're French, but your English is quite good.
I was born in France, sir, but I consider myself a traveler of this world. So many countries, so many...
Dear cousin, are we related?
We could be of the same blood, my dear. I tend to consider all Econs as family.
I followed the trail of...
Oh, you're referring to that young woman. Yes, the meeting turned messy. I'm afraid I ruined my last wedding.
So you admit you murdered?
I admit nothing, my good sir. I only regret...
What happened?
She wanted to become one of us. Not the first time I have received such a proposal, but... I must admit her direct approach tempted me.
And then what?
The body rejected my blood. It happens, you know? Sometimes even...
I believe you, sir.
Oh, Emily was her name.
Yes.
And so can...
C'est elle.
Good evening, Miss...
And good evening.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in the...
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys. A nice...
I have found out what happened to your friend, Emily.
I can handle the truth. There's no need to hide the bloody details.
Your friend was planning to become a vampire. She thought she'd met an honest one and made a deal with him. Unfortunately, Emily did not survive the process.
My mother told me many times about the risks of being turned. I often suspected she exaggerated the danger to avoid me being tempted.
No, the risk is real. Have you any idea what a body has to endure? To become an organism entirely consumed by its need to process and recombine blood.
I should never have talked to Emily about vampires.
Oh. Oh. Ça c'est légendaire limite comme truc. Fais voir, 35 assommés, waouh. Et en plus j'ai tes attaques, un peu plus d'endurance, mais... Faudrait limite que... Maintenant j'ai assez, mais je vais peut-être l'utiliser pour améliorer autre chose. Malheureusement, même avec les différences de dégâts, du coup je vais peut-être plutôt garder celui-là. Parce qu'au moins il y a la parade dessus. Tellement de gens que tu peux rencontrer là. Et ça reste trop. Donc ça c'est plus 40% de sang, 10% de sang. Ah, les dégâts, ça fait un moment que je les ai pas améliorés. s'arrêter là, on va aller devant le deuxième foyer. J'essaie juste d'abord d'aller là à 60 mètres là. Normalement si je suis... C'est là.
That building is under quarantine. Could this be what I'm looking for?
Ah, je peux peut-être passer par là. Une fois que je serai juste devant, c'est bon. un peu compliqué lui, il était un peu énervé surtout. Oui, donc j'avais vu qu'il y avait un passage vers là. Démarre une sauvegarde là, que je puisse arrêter. Toujours pas de sauvegarde malgré que j'ai réussi à rentrer. Bon bah on va